It's just been so hard. Just mentally, it's been so hard.
Today, I almost let my feelings get the best of me. I woke up exhausted, pulled myself together enough to get Kaiser ready for school, only to get in the car and the battery's dead because he left the lights on in the car all day yesterday. So needless to say, I just lounged around in my pajamas all day. Seemed like every 20 minutes I was changing another diaper. Babies was crying. I had no energy. I pretty much just canceled the whole day. I was over it. The thoughts of feeling like such a lousy mom was just flooding in, and it was just wearing me down. But somewhere in the middle of that, I was just like, no, I can't continue like this. So I found a way and I got up and I just started doing what little I could just to cancel out the noise and pivot.
It is now almost 8:30 at night. I finally got Kylo to fall asleep, and him and Bella are actually asleep, so I'm going to try to run through this video as quickly as possible before anybody wakes up. My days have literally been like this for the past couple of days, and I am overwhelmed. I am overstimulated. I am stressed and exhausted. I mean, that's what comes with postpartum, right? Some days I live with extreme mom guilt around Bella not being the last baby, me feeling like I'm not doing the best, or if I'm tired, just wanting to like step away for a little bit. It's like, really, you about to leave your children? You know what I mean? Just because you need a break. I think I've just gotten to a point where the overstimulation is really taking a toll on me. I feel like I've had the worst experience of brain fog just in this past 2.5 years than I've ever had before. Like, I can't seem to piece together two words. You should see me. I'll be trying to call somebody and ask them to do something for me. Like, I know what I'm trying to say, but for the words to actually come out of my mouth, or for me to even remember sometimes what it is that I'm trying to say, I honestly just feel like so much is going on with me that I need to. I hear someone moving. I feel like I am overflowing with emotions, and it's all of the negative ones. Like, I wake up most days and I'm just automatically irritable, just not in the mood. I feel like I'm constantly pushing away the older two. It's like sensory, like noise sensory. I don't know. Like, if you're a mom and you're experiencing this, especially if you're a mom to multiples, it's like noise sensory really irritates me. Like, I'm always trying to listen, especially now that Bella is walking and she's getting into things, or sometimes if I would like ask my oldest son or my husband to hold Kylo for me for a little bit, like, I'm always listening out for like a cry that means more than he just needs a bottle, or listening out for Bella, you know, getting into something or whatever, and it's just like thumps and clashes and cries. It's doing something to me, and I honestly do not like the way I feel these days. Like, I really feel stretched, like somebody just threw me in the deep end and they're just like, all right, sink or swim. And one of the biggest challenges that I realize is taking a real toll on me is coming to the realization that I am a whole stay-at-home mom out here in these streets. Like, prior to me even getting pregnant with Bella, I had a braiding business. I did hair outside in my home. I homeschooled the boys here. I mean, I felt like I was doing the thing. Like, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Like, business, anything, run me the numbers, run me, you know, run the subject, the topic, whatever the case is, and we'll get this thing on and pop it. And when I first found out I was pregnant with Bella, it was like, okay, you know, at the time Kaiser was like 4 or something, so I was like, all right, cool, it is what it is. You know, just crossing my fingers hoping for a girl, and sure enough, she turned out to be a girl. So I was like, all right, cool, we're set. 2 boys, a girl, I'm good. I'll be back in business. And that did not happen. I ended up getting pregnant again with Kylo, and I feel like now I am questioning like my worth, like who I am now. What does life look like for me now? And in no way am I like shaming or saying there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. On the contrary, the way I position myself and the way that I think about my children's upbringing and everything, it's giving very much stay-at-home mom mindset. I just did not ever put the two together. I thought, yeah, I can homeschool, I can do all the organic things, the DIYs, keeping my kids as neutral as possible, if that makes sense. All while still building a brand, still building financial stability, maybe something that one day one of my kids could take over. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like these are the things that were in my mind, not necessarily just being put flat down and saying, nope, no more working. This is your full-time job now. And I mentioned this before in one of my videos. It's like I live in survival mode until I collide with reality, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what I've been doing all along. I just didn't call it that, or I didn't surrender to that. So it's always like this friction, like this tug of war kind of between the new version that's evolving in me and leaving behind the old. And that is exactly what happened with this situation, where it's just like, okay, Masha, right now in this season, and it's not to say that I'll probably never go back to business or I'll never have another client again, but in this season I need to take off the entrepreneur hat and put on solely the mom hat. And I think that's where the gap was or is for me, because I'm still struggling with the day-to-day of just being a stay-at-home mom. It's like, you know how to be a mom, you know what it means to be, to take care and raise your kids, but until you're forced to just only be doing that, and I hope that's making sense. It's not to say that I part-time mother my children. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you're a working mom, that life looks completely different from a stay-at-home mom who is only now, everything in her day is wrapped around raising children and tending to a home, becoming a homemaker. These are new terms that I'm adding to my vocabulary. Like, that's really what I'm doing. Like, I'm becoming this homemaker. I'm becoming this mother in a sense. And the crazy part is, I've prayed for this. I've always wanted this. And I think what is happening is the fact that it did not come in the package that I thought it was supposed to be wrapped up in. And that's where I'm having the difficulty of embracing it as that. Because I've always said that, I would want to be around my kids, hence why I homeschool my kids. I want to be the first person in their life to teach them about life, to equip them so that they can have all the tools necessary to become thriving adults. But I did not envision it happening this way. I thought it would have happened alongside, parallel to me building a business, aka generational wealth, to then be able to pass down to them. And one thing about it, what I'm realizing is that you can pray certain prayers and probably even forget that you pray those prayers. And you're also expecting the prayer to be answered a certain way. So now when God actually answers it in the way that He wants to answer it, we're more quick to reject it, because we're not really seeing that, in all of this, somewhere, somehow, your prayer is right up in there. It's just coming in the way that He knew is more edifying for you. It's more beneficial for you. It'll actually transform you, versus the way that you were probably asking for it was to be another topper on the cake, not necessarily another ingredient in it, if that makes sense. I have just literally been running into brick walls. It's like, I've always been a wing it girl. Like, whatever we do, that's just how it's gonna roll in that moment. Whatever this requires, I'm gonna deal with it when the time comes. I used to be somebody who procrastinated all the time, and I am saying used to be because I am trying to get myself into the mindset of knowing that I am no longer a procrastinator, so that I can move towards that. I used to be somebody who was always late to everything. Like, talk about being unintentional about every aspect of life. It's like, I always thought that I was somebody who could just crash course everything. Like, when it really came time to it, yeah, I'll just crash course the situation and I'll figure it out and I'll go. And it used to work for me when I was younger, when I only had one kid. But now that I am 35 with 4 children, that mindset will no longer yield me the results that I'm looking for. And I am finding out quickly that I am going to need to hop on some real routines. I'm going to need to set up some real structures in my personal life in order for everything else around me to go the way I need it to go. Like, one thing about it, children and adults, I think it's a human thing, period. Like, we thrive on consistent positive results only stem from consistency. Even bad habits stem from consistency. You have to consistently be doing the wrong thing in order to keep behaving a certain way. And I think, like, deep down inside that I've always wanted that. I just never knew how to cultivate that, or I never put pen to paper to say, okay, step 1, do this, step 2, do that. It's just like everything was always mumble jumbled in my head, and I thought, oh girl, I'll figure it out as I go. Oh, I'm always remember that. And I'm realizing now, especially experiencing all this brain fog, nothing. And again, the reality is I went from being a mom of 2 to, in a span of 2 years, being a mom of 4. That in itself has put me in a position to adapt a whole new lifestyle, to become a whole new version of me. I guess you would say a better version of me. I honestly believe that's going to be the only thing.
A few moments later.
Oh yeah, he is literally fighting the sleep. Like, he is so uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the new cans of formula just is not sitting well with him. I have no idea, but like any other night, any other day, I just have to be patient with him and go with the flow. It's just been so hard. Just mentally, it's been so hard. Like, I question so much stuff. It's like, why did these past 2 years happen the way they happened? Like, how did I all of a sudden become a mom of 4 kids? Obviously, there is no way that I regret any of my children. It's just like, you know, when you've been living a certain way for so long, you don't think nothing can come in and disrupt that, you know? And when something does come in and rearrange what you've built and what you've become accustomed to, you know, it takes a second for you to realize that and to get back on the horse and just keep riding down into the sunset. You know, the ebbs and flows of life will always keep us on our toes, and the success of it is how quickly you can surrender to that. And I think now I'm just having to like realize, okay, I'm having to get more accustomed to, I'm having to get more comfortable with just calling myself like a stay-at-home mom. You know what I mean? To own that position now, a position that I've always wanted again. You know, I just didn't think it was going to happen this way. I think probably most of what's really causing so much like overstimulation to me and just like anxiety and worry is just exhaustion. You know, lack of sleep can really be having you out here going cuckoo. I really think that's just what it is. That's how come I've been trying my hardest to start moving, you know, to get active, to start being more intentional about what I'm eating, because it's like, okay, girl, well, if you're not getting the sleep that you need, at least don't be up here eating junk food all the time and just sitting in your bed and not doing nothing. You can easily put these kids in the stroller and go for a walk instead of just laying in your bed scrolling on social media, doing absolutely nothing. I hadn't even got to the point where I was just like overwhelmed with even making YouTube videos. I'm just like, how am I supposed to even do this? Like, I can't even get a second to think. Like, okay, you know, structuring how I want my YouTube to be set up, who I want to really talk to and target. Like, I have so much information that I want to share, so many things that I want to help other moms in this space with, and it's just like I'm having such a hard time to even translate that from how I'm feeling it to how I want to actually deliver it. And anytime it's time for me to actually kind of just start like taking notes or just journaling or, you know, getting things ready, something happens, or I will have a day where I get a chance to, make a content, like brainstorm some content and get like a schedule going or whatever. And then boom, the next 3 days is hell. Like the next 3 days, it's like the schedule is all out of whack. And again, most of the reason why I'm struggling is because I already did not have the habits in place, the routines and structure in place to begin with, to deal with a family of 6. That's me, my husband, and the 4 children. So because I really did not have that in place, it's been such a struggle for me. I feel like every day I'm literally like just going with the flow. It's like I feel like a pay-as-you-go phone plan. Because why? I just want to get to a space where I have created the effective routines and systems for my home, for the way I conduct life with the children and juggling it all, to where that I'm removing the guesswork out of it, and it's just flowing, like just getting things organized and in order so that I can really free up some space in my mind to where I'm not thinking about, okay, well, I know we have doctor's appointments tomorrow, and it's not at the time that I'm getting ready for a doctor's appointment that I'm trying to get a diaper bag ready, or I'm trying to figure out what we're wearing, or I'm trying to figure out, did I pack the right, do I even have any snacks available for the car ride or the visit itself? No, I can say, okay, I'll know in advance how to prepare myself for the following day. And that's really what I'm really trying to implement these days. Is how can I create a system and a schedule to where I am preparing myself for the days ahead? Because at this point, just trying to get out the house with the 2, I'll be fighting for my life. You get somebody in the car, then somebody poops, then somebody's crying, then everybody's crying, then somebody needs a bottle, then you gotta go back and wash bottles, and you gotta go back and do this, and you gotta go back and try to remember if you got shoes. It's so much. I just know that life has really been lifing the crap out of me lately, and am now just trying to take the days one day at a time. I am working so hard on just pivoting my thoughts every time that I wake up with a negative thought, or I'm just in an irritable mood. Like, I'm trying to find ways, like it's either I turn on some worship music, or I say a quick prayer, or I go and I find some time to read a scripture, or I just do the Bible app, something to help me to just crawl out of the negative mindset and the way that I've been feeling. And I really feel like the enemy is trying to do everything in his power to just make me feel defeated, to wear me out, to where I don't have the strength or the focus to keep going. But if my God is for me, who can be against me? But yeah, I just want to encourage you, like, if this is your first week with your newborn, if this is your first night with your newborn, like, saddle up, honey. Strap up. It is not going to be an easy ride. And if you're like me and you do not have a village, just know that I am keeping you in my deepest prayers, because it is only God that has kept me through some of the most demanding days. Days where I just want to throw my hands up and throw the towel, but it's just like, but where you gonna go? You can't pause this or stop in your tracks. Like, where you gonna go? You can't just walk away from your children. Where are you gonna go? And you have those moments where you're just like, man, is there anywhere I can run to? And the answer is no. The only place you can run to is the Lord, because that is the only place that I can say without a doubt that I have gotten my strength to keep going, because there's just no way. There's just no way. I don't see how any of this, I don't see how we made it to 3.5 months. So my new challenge to myself, and I am inviting you into this as well, if you've been someone like me where you just like to cancel everything, or you postpone things so much, instead of saying, oh, it's only 30 minutes left, I won't be able to do this in 30 minutes. Instead, just say, okay, let me see how much I can get done in 30 minutes. And that's just how I've been pulling myself out of my rut. There's a lot of things that you can regret, but just get up. Get up and start. Find your strength in the Lord and find a way to pivot If you are also on a journey where you are shifting from being one person, one version of yourself to a better version of yourself, surrender to it. Don't fight it. The faster you accept it and surrender to it, the faster the healing happens and the faster you can get on to the other side.